Hey guys, welcome to the channel if you're new, welcome back if you're a subscriber. My name's Neil and it's time for the next episode of Would I Lie to You? We are going to Series 11. This has been a highly recommended episode. We get Nish Kumar from Series 5 of Taskmaster. We get Joe Lycett from Series 4 of Taskmaster. We get Miles Jupp, who I've recently discovered and fallen deeply intrigued by. So that's a strong lineup right there. I am not familiar with the fourth guest. Her name is Nikki Fox. I don't know what to expect from this episode, although I do know Joe and Nish are on the same team, and I feel like they could be really good together. In my head, I had to double check that they weren't on the same series of Taskmaster because it felt like they have very complementary styles, but they weren't. They were off by one series. Anyway, let's jump right into it. This is episode 7 of series 11 of Would I Lie to You?
On David Mitchell's team tonight, a comedian who admits to being a huge hypochondriac, or at least that's what he thinks he is. But what if it's something worse? Please welcome Joe Lycett. And a guest who called his first tour, Who is Nish Kumar? And his second tour, Nish Kumar is a comedian. Please welcome... He spoilt the introduction, hasn't he? It's Nish Kumar. A host of Watchdog, who's not only going to be entertaining us tonight, but after the show is going to help me get my PPI back, Nikki Fox. I'm not saying he's posh, but he describes the royal family as new money. It's Miles Jupp.
Whilst on holiday in South Africa, I had a 2-minute conversation with what I thought was my wife, only to discover that a small hippo had wandered into the bedroom.
What?
David's team.
What you, Miles? Describe your wife.
The hippo was just sort of moving gently around.
I'm up for that.
It was a small one.
What was the conversation about, and how did you go 2 minutes?
I'll tell you what the conversation was about. It was about me, and I was doing most of the talking.
Describe the nature of the structure you were in.
Right.
Is it a building? Is it on the 4th floor of a...
Did the hippo have to get in a lift?
Largely A-frame wooden buildings with a kind of thatch roof.
Why were the doors so big a hippo could get in?
It was a small one.
Well, it's a small hippo, isn't it?
How small is a small hippo?
Like
a
George
big
from Rainbow, or...?
It's a baby hippo.
The hippo was only that big.
Yeah, that is its width, as viewed from behind, and I suspect from the front.
This is worse. Your wife's like the back end of a hippo.
The rest of it is a very big open-plan bedroom, and it has a bust bed, and...
Bed you could make love to a hippo on?
That is speculation, but I wouldn't bet against it.
Nobody measures
or two-thirds
animals
of
by
one.
width.
Well, you do.
Oh, I saw a massive snake. It was this big.
Miles does.
I think based on the width,
Yeah.
it's a lie.
No,
I
it's
think
true.
Those have panicked reach for width.
It's true. It's true. A baby hippo snuffled into his bungalow.
It is a lie.
Bugger. I could have sworn.
At the end of my first driving lesson, my instructor told me I'd done pretty well, but that I didn't need to make the noises of the car engine as I drove along. I'd just go...
What's the reversing around a corner backwards noise?
What's weird about that?
Would you make all the noises? Would you do indicators, for example?
No, let's not be silly.
Name of driving instructor, because I remember mine, Norman.
I don't remember my driving instructor. I remember he gave me grief because I wasn't a big enough fan of the Vancouver Canucks.
It wasn't Clive Dunn, was it?
don't know that reference. Who's Clive Dunn?
Clive Dunn played...
You've just fallen into the generation gap.
This audience actually oohed the fact that Joe didn't know who Clive... They were like, oh, you...
Well, you said it oohed. Perhaps they were accelerating.
I reckon it might be the truth.
You think it's the
Yeah,
truth?
I buy
I'd
it.
say that.
I buy it.
It is a lie.
Oh, I'm doing terrible today.
Please welcome this week's special guest, Amy.
This is my friend Amy. We became friends after I found her asleep in a box of volleyballs. I was working at a leisure centre just after I left school. They sent me to check on the volleyballs.
Well, just check on the volleyball. Has your manager recently been watching Toy Story?
Yeah, you're supposed to count them, and it turned out that what she was doing was she'd found the perfect spot to have a mid-work sleep in.
How big was this box?
It was woman size.
Could she stretch woman size?
Yeah.
You've heard of a volleyball coffin?
And so we became friends because then I would also often have a nap
In the volleyballs?
In the volleyballs.
What was she supposed to be doing at the time?
Perhaps she was sent to count the volleyballs earlier.
I don't buy that sleeping on volleyballs is particularly comfortable.
What else did your job demand of you?
Basically, all-round dog's body time.
I think you said all-round ball games.
So everything except rugby.
Bowls, David.
What?
They're not totally spherical in bowls, that's
Are
why.
they not? I would say, colloquially, they're still round, though.
Oh, hello. It's all kicking off at Bridge Club.
This is my friend Amy, and I grossly offended her when I made a less than perfect sculpture of her head.
Ooh.
I have an office in Birmingham where I live.
That'll do. So,
Why?
Just to write jokes and be creative in.
and said to your friend, would you like to come along, sit in the corner, and I'll sculpt your head?
I've been looking for a use for all that clay I keep in my office.
So did you know how to do this?
No, but yeah, I thought practice makes perfect.
How long did you spend doing it?
Maybe an hour or so.
That's probably not enough time.
She was offended by this sculpture.
Yes, it didn't look like her.
What did it look like?
It looked more like Ainsley Harriott.
This is Amy. She is the charity shop worker who sold my shoes whilst I was otherwise engaged trying on a pair of cowboy boots.
No way was Mitchell trying on cowboy boots.
Which charity shop?
It was a Marie Curie.
You're thinking it's about time I got myself some cowboy boots. I need to commit to a new pair in case I go off the idea.
Just on the very slightest off chance
Yeah.
that they don't turn out to suit me and my personality.
Cowboy boots, I'll be honest with you, don't particularly appeal to me aesthetically.
Wow, that surprises
I don't think
me.
they go with what I like to call my style.
How would you describe that style?
Nondescript.
I think my style is indescribable.
Yes.
Oh, no, I could describe it.
I saw in the window what looked like a nice selection of second-hand novels. And I went in, and it wasn't a nice selection of second-hand novels. It was all Ken Follett crap. But I did notice the array of shoes. I tend to take my shoes off at home and maybe wear slippers or socks. I don't want this to get too sexy.
I might need my inhaler.
So what I vaguely was on the lookout for was a pair of easy-to-put-on, non-lacing shoes that I could keep by the back door in case I needed to pop into the garden for some gardening.
His plimsolls.
What, you decided take them off in the shop and hand them to her?
When you go shoe shopping, do you go barefoot?
I take shoes to the shoe rider shop.
Yeah.
I choose shoes that I no longer want. I don't wander around and then go, well, do you know what? You can have these if you want.
No. You're...
Rob, you're the only person in the whole of the United Kingdom watching this that isn't following this story.
Yeah.
Why do you think you took the shoes off?
Try the other one.
Try the cowboy shoes on.
And I spot these cowboy boots, and to me, they look sort of quite loose and easy to slip on.
What length? Not width,
Well,
length.
I'd say that long.
So they're coming up to just below the knee?
They're not...
How
these
tall
aren't-
are you, Rob? They're not big.
For me, they'd be thigh length.
Can't see over these.
Leather or suede?
Leather, and with a sort of bit of, like a bit of crenellation sort of flapping on in the bit. I'm just going to have to use the terminology of the medieval castle. It's the only way.
People in the shop, I imagine, were going, why is David Mitchell trying on cowboy boots?
The shop wasn't as packed as you're imagining. I thought myself to be the only customer there.
Right.
I was soon disabused of that notion.
When did you notice that your own shoes had been sold?
I'm picturing a scene where you walk out the shop and you walk home, and then a few minutes later, a cowboy goes up to the counter and says, "Excuse me,
It's just, I can't buy it. I can't imagine you'd even try them on.
Well, in which case, then you should say that I'm lying.
I might do.
I might do.
I'm more inclined to believe Nish myself.
You believe Nish?
Yeah.
Because...
I think I believe Nish, except sleeping on volleyballs doesn't make great sense to me.
During David's story, she looked, understandably baffled.
I'd be leaning to Joe.
You think Nish is telling the truth? You think Nish is telling the truth?
Yeah.
Right, in that case... No, I'm overruling!
Oh!
I'm going with Joe.
Bold.
I'm Amy and I'm Joe's friend.
Yeah. Sleeping on volleyballs doesn't make sense to me. Oh, they actually have it.
This is the sculpture that Joe liked. Oh, good lord.
Whoa. It's a little more Vin Diesel than her. He didn't even bother trying with hair.
I love gravy so much that I freeze it into ice lollies to suck in the summertime.
No.
You maniac.
Beef gravy would be my gravy of choice.
Do you only make lollies out of the beef gravy?
If I'm desperate...
Yeah, you do sound desperate.
I try and avoid granules, because I think if you're going to have a gravy ice lolly, you might as well do a posh one.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks it's strange. If I made you one, you suck that gravy lolly.
Need the inhaler again?
Yeah, there's the slogan right there. It markets itself. You think it's true?
I think she's off her nut.
No, I can't believe I'm having to justify this. It's a gravy lolly. I think it's a lie.
It's got to be a lie. It's got to be a lie. She's a good liar, but it's a lie.
It is, in fact, a lie.
Yeah. Yeah, gravy needs to be warm.
On a recent train journey under cover of darkness in a tunnel, I secretly switched bananas with the stranger opposite because his looked better than mine.
Why was there no lighting in this train? Were you perhaps travelling in the 1870s?
The tunnel was so brief and so quick, they didn't bother.
So it was a very brief, so it's basically like an extended bridge.
It was a shortcut. I don't like that bit where they've just starting to go a little bit black.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just a little bit. But it was close enough where I thought, given an opportunity, I reckon I could swap that banana, because he was reading his paper.
So he's holding a newspaper with two hands, and then in one of the hands he also had a banana.
No, it was on the table in front of... Have you been on a train recently?
Did you have any reading materials, or were you just sat...
Don't mock me, you know I can't read. I was simply entertaining myself, as ever, with my Etch-a-Sketch. I remember thinking... That's wasted on him, but that's irritating me. Yeah. So, and I just thought, like that, put it back in its case. I'm very protective of it.
I'm struggling to envision a tunnel that takes 5 seconds to get through, but is...
Well, do you know those really long tunnels?
Yeah.
Imagine one of them, but really short. This is one important factor you're missing. Bright sunshine, eye adjustment. Did I not mention how bright it was?
Very, very bright.
Oh, it was bright. I can't help thinking he wasn't reading that paper. He was shielding him. It's
a moment of complete blackness.
Black!
You're almost blinded in this
so
blackness.
Blinded. You know when it's so dark, you think, God, it's dark, I could nick a banana. Even before we go through the tunnel, I'm tempted. I'm going, could I? No. Could I? No, there's no one looking here. There's no one looking. And I'm so close to making that decision. Yeah. It goes black. Get it. Go.
Absolute nonsense.
All right. Just listen. Give me another go.
I think he looks low on potassium as well.
Yeah.
It's a lie. It's a lie, of course.
Maybe a lie.
What do we think, team?
No.
lie.
Yeah.
David's team have won by 4 points to 1. Good night.
Oh, that was a fun one. Again, I don't know how... They seem to be over in 10 minutes, but they're inevitably entertaining episodes of this show, aren't they? Good to see some familiar faces. I'm really digging Miles's style. It's I don't even know how to describe it, but he's got all of David's neuroses without David's anger. I didn't realize he was posh, but apparently he was, based on Rob's initial joke. But I feel like if I was funny, I might be a little Miles Juppy. So anyway, I identify with him. Joe and Nish were what I remember from Taskmaster. They were both great. Just a really fun episode. I have heard about David's cowboy boots. He did a decent job of trying to sell it, but no one would look at a pair of cowboy boots and go, oh, that's an easy pair of slip-ons to run out into the backyard with. I don't know what he was thinking, trying to sell it like that. The only reason David Mitchell would ever wear cowboy boots, in my mind, is if he had somehow been persuaded to go to a Halloween/fancy dress party, which I think in itself would be a miracle. But what other circumstance could it possibly be where he'd go cowboy boot? So yeah, I guess, there's certain times, like as soon as you hear the story, it's a lie, especially with David and Lee, especially in later series. But the entertainment is just listening to them dive deeper and deeper into the story, trying to sell us on it. But yeah, no, it was an entertaining episode as always. Thank you guys for joining me. Until next time, take care, stay healthy, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.